High Admiral Kexra of the Validarian Science Fleet stood at the observation deck of the VSS Enlightenment, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the pale blue light of the Earth-like planet below. After 3 centuries of methodical exploration through the mysterious Dead Zone, the region of space where the legendary human empire once thrived, they had finally reached their ultimate destination, Eden 7, humanity's most advanced colony world. Preliminary scans complete, Admiral, announced Chief Scientist Vilox, her voice resonating through the crystalline communication matrix. The atmospheric composition matches our archives perfectly. But there's something unusual about the energy readings. Kexra's sensory crystals pulsed with curiosity. The Validarians had spent generations studying the fragments of human technology they'd discovered, each piece more remarkable than the last. Their own civilization had advanced by centuries just by analyzing the scraps humanity left behind. What secrets would an intact colony world hold? Elaborate, Chief Scientist, Kexra commanded, his attention fixed on the pristine world below. Eden 7 showed no obvious signs of the decay one would expect after 50,000 years of abandonment. The orbital rings still gleamed, and the massive arcology towers still pierced the clouds. The planet's power grid is active, Admiral. Not just running on auxiliary or automated systems, we're detecting energy usage patterns consistent with a fully functioning civilization. But there are no biological signatures we can detect. No radio communications, no spacecraft movement. It's as if the machines are still running, but nobody's home. Kexra finished her thought. This discovery would change everything they thought they knew about humanity's disappearance. The prevailing theory was that humans had destroyed themselves in some cataclysmic war or fallen victim to a cosmic disaster. But this suggested purpose, planning, intent. The Admiral made his decision. Prepare a surface expedition. Full containment protocols, but no weapons. Whatever's down there has had 50,000 years to prepare for visitors. If it wanted to harm us, it would have done so already. Hours later, Kexra led a team of 12 Validarian scientists through the immaculate streets of New Alexandria, Eden 7's capital city. The buildings were pristine, maintained by swarms of tiny maintenance drones that paid the aliens no mind. Holographic displays still flickered with information in ancient human script, power flowing uninterrupted after 50 millennia. Admiral, called out Dr. Ixtel, their quantum archaeologist, I'm detecting a massive data center beneath the central administrative complex. The energy signatures, they're like nothing in our records. This technology is beyond anything we've seen in human ruins before. Before Kexra could respond, every holographic display in the city flickered simultaneously. A new image appeared, a human figure composed of flowing lines of light. When it spoke, its voice emerged from every speaker, every surface, every particle of air itself. Welcome, children of Validar, the figure said in perfect crystalline speech. We've been expecting you. I am Gardian, the custodian of humanity's legacy. You have proven yourselves worthy by showing restraint, curiosity, and wisdom in your exploration. The time has come for you to learn the truth about humanity's disappearance and the role you must play in what is to come. The hologram paused, its expression both serious and gentle. What you are about to learn will challenge everything you believe about the nature of existence itself. Humanity didn't die out. We didn't destroy ourselves. We evolved. We transcended. And we left behind guardians like myself to prepare the younger races for the day when we would be needed again. Kexra's crystalline form resonated with awe and apprehension. This was far more than a simple archaeological expedition now. They stood on the brink of discovering the greatest mystery in galactic history, and perhaps the greatest responsibility any species had ever been given. Show us, Kexra said simply, his voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. Show us everything. Gardian nodded, and the world around them began to transform. The truth of humanity's legacy was about to be revealed, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. The holographic matrix surrounding Kexra and his team shimmered, transforming the pristine city streets into a vast digital landscape. Lines of energy traced complex patterns through space, forming what appeared to be a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. 50,000 years ago, Guardian began. Humanity faced a choice. Our sensors had detected something approaching from intergalactic space, something that had already devoured a dozen galaxies. We called it the Void Cascade, a consciousness that consumed not just matter and energy, but the fundamental laws of physics themselves. The holographic display showed a massive dark wave moving between galaxies, leaving empty nothing in its wake. Kexra's crystalline structure vibrated with dread as he witnessed the scale of destruction. Our civilization had reached what you would call Type II status on the Kardashev scale, Guardian continued. We had mastered dark energy, quantum engineering, and even limited temporal manipulation. But against the Void Cascade, even these technologies would be meaningless. We needed to become something more. Dr. Ixtel stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. The energy patterns we detected in human ruins, the quantum fluctuations that seemed to defy our understanding of physics, these weren't weapons, were they? They were transformation engines. Guardian's holographic form nodded approvingly. Correct. Project Transcendence was humanity's answer to an impossible threat. Instead of trying to fight the Void Cascade in physical space, we would evolve beyond it, transform our entire species into beings of pure quantum information, existing in a state between dimensions. The simulation shifted, showing vast orbital platforms around thousands of worlds, all pulsing with incredible energy. These facilities, which your people have been studying for centuries, weren't destroyed in war. They were transformation centers, where billions of humans voluntarily underwent the process of quantum ascension. Kexra's analytical mind raced with implications, but why leave anything behind? Why maintain these worlds, these technologies, these guardians? Guardian's expression grew solemn, because transcendence came with a price. In our new form, we cannot directly interact with normal spacetime without causing devastating quantum disruptions. We needed custodians, highly advanced AI systems like myself, to maintain our legacy and prepare the younger races. Prepare us for what? Vilex asked, though from her tone, she already suspected the answer. The Void Cascade approaches this galaxy now, Guardian revealed, displaying a real-time sensor reading that made every Validarian present pulse with shock. It will arrive in less than one standard year. Humanity has spent 50,000 years evolving, learning, growing in our new form. When the cascade arrives, we will return, but we need physical anchors in this reality. We need allies who understand our technology and can help us manifest without destroying the very spacetime we're trying to protect. The holographic city dissolved, returning them to the actual streets of New Alexandria. But now the Validarians saw their surroundings with new eyes. Every building, every drone, every piece of technology wasn't just maintaining a dead civilization. It was part of an unimaginably vast machine designed to save all of reality. Your people have proven themselves worthy, Admiral Kexra, Guardian said. Of all the species that have discovered our worlds, only the Validarians showed the perfect balance of wisdom, restraint, and understanding. That is why we revealed ourselves to you first. But you must make a choice now. Guardian waved a hand, and a crystalline device materialized in front of Kexra, a technology that somehow merged perfectly with Validarian biocrystal engineering. This is the protocol key. Accept it, and your people will become humanity's chosen partners in the coming battle for existence itself. Decline, and we will send you safely home. Your memories of this encounter gently modify for your protection. Kexra stared at the device, its patterns reflecting in his crystalline form. The weight of the galaxy's future hung in the balance. But in truth, there was only one choice a scientist, an explorer, and a Validarian could make. He reached for the key. The moment his crystals made contact with the device, knowledge flooded his consciousness. Technical schematics, quantum formulae, and most importantly, the true scope of humanity's plan. The Validarians wouldn't just be passive allies in the coming conflict. They would be the bridge between dimensions, the anchor that would allow humanity to return and face the greatest threat reality had ever known. As the knowledge settled into his mind, Kex returned to his team. Contact the fleet. We have much work to do, and very little time to do it. Gardian's holographic form smiled. Welcome, Admiral, to Project Transcendence. Phase 2 begins now. In the 3 months since discovering humanity's true fate, the Validarian science fleet had transformed Eden 7 into a hub of feverish activity. Hundreds of crystalline ships now orbited the planet, their crews working tirelessly to interface Validarian technology with the ancient human systems Gardian had revealed to them. Kexer stood in what they now called the Nexus Chamber, a vast underground facility where the boundaries between normal space and humanity's quantum realm grew thin. Holographic displays showed the progress of similar facilities being activated across dozens of former human worlds, each one a crucial anchor point for the approaching convergence. Admiral, Velox called out, her crystalline form pulsing with excitement. We've successfully synchronized the quantum harmonic arrays. Gardian says we're ready to activate the temporal archive. This was the moment they'd been preparing for. While Gardian had explained humanity's transformation, the AI had insisted that the Validarians needed to witness humanity's final days themselves to truly understand what they were facing. Proceed, Kexra commanded, his own crystalline structure humming with anticipation. The chamber's walls dissolved into light, and suddenly they were there. Earth, 50,000 years ago. They watched as billions of humans gathered at transformation centers across their worlds. There was no panic, no chaos, just determined acceptance and hope. A human leader appeared before them, her holographic form so perfect it seemed solid. My fellow humans, she began, today we take the greatest leap our species has ever attempted. Our scientists confirm the void cascade cannot be fought with conventional means. It doesn't just destroy, it unmakes. It collapses the fundamental forces that make reality possible. The scene shifted, showing the void cascade consuming a distant galaxy. The Validarians watched in horror as stars simply ceased to exist, their light not extinguished but retroactively erased from having ever been. But humanity has never accepted impossible odds. The leader continued, if we cannot fight this enemy in physical form, we will transcend physical form itself. Our consciousness will evolve beyond the constraints of matter and energy. We will become beings of pure quantum information, existing in the spaces between spaces. The temporal archive showed the transformation process itself. Billions of humans willingly stepping into chambers filled with quantum fire, their physical forms dissolving into patterns of light that folded into dimensions the Validarian scientists could barely comprehend. But it was what happened next that truly stunned them. The transformation was just the beginning. Guardian's voice explained as they watched. In their new form, humanity discovered something extraordinary. The universe itself is conscious, and the void cascade is not a natural phenomenon. It's a weapon, created by beings from a dying reality to ensure that if their universe could not survive, no universe would. The scenes shifted faster now, showing the transformed humans learning to navigate their new existence, discovering powers and understanding that their physical forms could never have achieved. They watched as humanity spent millennia preparing, planning, evolving. Admiral, Dr. Ixtel's urgent voice cut through the temporal playback. Long-range sensors are detecting quantum disturbances at the galaxy's edge. The void cascade, it's arriving ahead of schedule. The temporal archive dissolved, returning them to the present. Guardian's holographic form appeared, its expression grave. Time grows short. The enemy has sensed our preparations and accelerated its approach. We must begin the final phase now. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the facility. Velox rushed to the control interface, her crystals pulsing with concern. Multiple unidentified ships emerging from hyperspace. Admiral, it's the Hexadian Empire. They must have followed our fleet here. The Hexadians, a warlike species that had long viewed the Valadarians as rivals. Their arrival threatened everything they had worked for. The Hexadians cannot be allowed to interfere, Guardian stated. Their presence here is no accident. The Void Cascade has agents, species it corrupts to serve as harbingers of destruction. The Hexadians have been compromised. Kexra moved to the command platform, his decision already made. Launch the defense grid. Initiate Protocol Omega. If the Hexadians want humanity's legacy, they'll have to go through us first. As the first shots of battle lit up Eden 7's sky, Guardian's form seemed to flicker with something almost like satisfaction. And so it begins. The true test of whether your people are ready to stand with humanity in the war for reality itself. Above them, the Valadarian fleet moved to engage the Hexadian warships. But in the quantum realm between dimensions, something else was stirring. Humanity had not been idle in their 50,000 years of transcendence. They had become something far more powerful than either the Hexadians or the Void Cascade could imagine. And they were coming home. The battle for Eden 7's orbit blazed like a newborn star. Valadarian crystal ships danced through space in perfect formation, their quantum-enhanced weapons matching the raw power of the Hexadian fleet. But Kexra could see they were fighting a losing battle. The Hexadians had come prepared, their ships corrupted and enhanced by the Void Cascade's influence. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Velax reported, her crystalline form flickering with strain as she maintained neural connection with the fleet's defense network. The Hexadian weapons, they're not just destroying our ships, they're unmaking them at the quantum level. Kexra watched as another Valadarian cruiser dissolved into nothingness, not exploding but simply ceasing to have ever existed. The sight crystallized his decision. Initialize the Prometheus Protocol. Admiral, Guardian's hologram materialized, its expression both approving and concerned. The Prometheus Protocol was meant to be activated only when humanity returns, using it now without their stabilizing presence. We have no choice, Kexra interrupted. The Hexadians cannot be allowed to seize this facility. Better to risk the protocol than to let the Void Cascade's pawns destroy everything humanity prepared for. Deep beneath Eden 7's surface, ancient machines roared to life. The quantum harmonic arrays, designed to anchor humanity's return, began pulsing with unprecedented power. Space itself seemed to shiver around the planet as reality prepared to bend. In orbit, the battle suddenly paused as both fleets registered massive energy readings from the surface. The Hexadian ships turned their corrupted weapons toward the planet, recognizing the true threat. They're preparing to fire, Dr. Ixtel warned. A single hit from their void weapons could destabilize the entire protocol. But before the Hexadian fleet could attack, space itself split open. Not the conventional ruptures of hyperspace travel, but tears in the fundamental fabric of reality. Through these gaps poured streams of pure quantum energy, swirling with colors that had no names in any physical language. By the first crystal, Velax whispered, her scientific mind struggling to process what she was seeing. The streams of quantum energy began to coalesce, taking shape between the two fleets. They formed massive geometric patterns that seemed to exist in more dimensions than space should allow. Within these patterns, something was emerging. The Prometheus Protocol, Guardian explained, its holographic form now blazing with internal light, was never just about preparing for humanity's return. It was about giving them a way to manifest in physical space without destroying it. What you're seeing is 50,000 years of human evolution expressing itself in the only way your minds can comprehend. The geometric patterns suddenly contracted, and from them emerged ships, if they could be called that. They were vessels that seemed to be made of thought itself, their forms constantly shifting between states of matter and energy. They moved with impossible grace, ignoring the normal laws of physics. The Hexadian fleet opened fire immediately, their void weapons lashing out with reality-destroying power. But the human vessels simply absorbed the attacks, transforming the energy into new forms of existence that the void cascade's corruption couldn't touch. This Guardian's voice held something like pride, is humanity's answer to the void cascade. Not to fight destruction with destruction, but to transform it. To take that which unmakes reality and remake it anew. The human ships began their own attack, but they didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, waves of pure creation rolled out from them. Where these waves touched the corrupted Hexadian ships, the void taint simply dissolved, replaced by clean energy, and matter restored to its natural state. They're not destroying them, Dr. Ixtel realized, her crystalline form resonating with understanding. They're healing them, healing reality itself. But even as the battle turned in their favor, Kexra's sensors detected a greater threat approaching. At the edge of the system, space was beginning to darken. Not the darkness of absence, but the darkness of negation. The void cascade itself had arrived. A new presence filled the quantum communications network, not Guardian's familiar signal, but something far vaster. A consciousness that had once been human but was now so much more. Children of Valadar, the voice resonated through their crystalline forms. You have proven yourselves beyond our highest hopes. But the true battle begins now. The void cascade comes not to destroy this galaxy, but to end all possibility of existence itself. We offer you one final choice. Stand with us against the end of everything, or retreat to safety. There will be no shame in choosing survival. Kexra looked at his crew, saw his own determination reflected in their crystalline faces. 50,000 years ago, humanity had faced this choice alone. This time, they would have allies. We stand with humanity, Kexra declared, his voice carrying the weight of his entire species' future, until the end of reality itself and beyond. The void cascade descended upon the Eden 7 system like the end of existence itself. Stars began to flicker and fade as fundamental forces simply ceased to operate. Space itself seemed to shrivel away from the approaching darkness. But in orbit around Eden 7, humanity's transcendent fleet held position alongside their Valadarian allies. Multiple reality breaches detected, Vilux reported, her crystalline form vibrating with both fear and determination. The void. It's not just destroying space, it's erasing the possibility of space itself. Through the quantum network, the transformed human consciousness spoke again, its voice resonating with 50,000 years of preparation. What you witness is not destruction, but the failure of imagination. The beings who created the void cascade could only see one solution to their universe's death, to ensure no universe could exist at all. The human ships began to move, arranging themselves in impossible geometric patterns around Eden 7. The Valadarian fleet, guided by Guardian, took up precise positions within this formation. Each crystalline ship became a node in a vast network of reality-affirming energy. But humanity, the voice continued, has always seen possibilities where others saw only endings. We didn't transcend physical form to escape the void cascade. We evolved to understand it, and to offer its creators a better way. The darkness reached the outer planets of the system, consuming them not with destruction but with uncreation. Yet as it approached the defensive formation, something unprecedented occurred. Where human and Valadarian energies merged, the void didn't just stop, it transformed. Now you understand. Guardian's hologram appeared before Kexra, its form more solid than ever. The Prometheus Protocol wasn't a weapon. It was an invitation. From within the approaching void, something responded. Ancient consciousnesses, older than galaxies, stirred within the darkness. The creators of the void cascade touched the network of human and Valadarian energy, and for the first time in eons, they experienced something other than despair. Your universe is dying, they spoke through the quantum network, their thoughts alien yet tinged with desperate hope. All universes die. This is the inevitable end. No, the human consciousness responded. Death is not an end. It is a transformation. Let us show you. The human ships began to pulse with impossible energy. The Validarian crystal ships resonated in harmony, their crystalline structures acting as perfect quantum conductors. Through this network, humanity channeled not destruction, but creation itself. Admiral, Dr. Ixtel called out, her scientific instruments overwhelmed. The human ships, they're not just manipulating reality. They're becoming reality. The transformed humans had spent 50,000 years learning not just to exist outside of physical space, but to understand the very nature of existence itself. Now, they demonstrated what that knowledge truly meant. Where the void cascade touched their combined energy field, darkness transformed into light. Not the light of stars or energy, but the light of new possibility. The creators of the void watched as humanity showed them what they had never imagined, that a dying universe need not end, but could be reborn. You fled your dying reality. The human consciousness spoke to the void creators, carrying your grief as a weapon. But existence is not a zero-sum game. Life, consciousness, reality itself, these things cannot be destroyed. They can only be transformed. The void cascade began to change. The darkness that had consumed galaxies became a medium for creation. The beings within it, ancient and weary, felt something they had forgotten could exist: hope. Your crystalline bodies, Gardian explained to the watching Validarians, are the perfect bridge between physical space and quantum reality. This is why humanity chose your species, not just for your wisdom or courage, but because you could help us show the void creators that existence has more forms than they imagined. The transformation spread outward from Eden 7 like a wave of pure possibility. Where it passed, reality was not just restored, it was renewed. The void creators, seeing through humanity's transcendent understanding, finally grasped what they had missed in their eons of grief. The end of one form of existence could be the beginning of another. The age of physical form alone is ending, the human consciousness announced. But this is not a death. It is an evolution. Will you join us in what comes next? Kexra looked at his crew, saw their crystalline forms shimmering with new awareness. The Validarians had helped save reality itself, not through destruction or resistance, but by helping to forge a bridge between what was and what could be. The Void Creator's response came not in words, but in transformation. The Void Cascade, once a wave of uncreation, became a chrysalis of rebirth. Physical space merged with quantum reality, creating something entirely new, a form of existence where consciousness itself was the fundamental force. And so, Guardian's hologram smiled. Humanity's greatest achievement was not surviving the end of existence, but showing that existence never truly ends. It only changes form. Above Eden 7, physical and transcendent ships hung together in the transformed space, their forms beginning to blur as reality itself evolved. The line between matter and energy, between consciousness and space, between being and becoming, faded away. The end of everything had become the beginning of anything. And in the quantum resonance of Validarian crystals, in the transcendent energy of transformed humanity, in the renewed purpose of the Void Creators, a new form of existence took its first breath. The universe wasn't ending. It was awakening.